back. Time now 8:27. This morning we're highlighting a Twin Cities chef putting our fine dining scene in the national spotlight.
And she's using her newfound fame to help fellow immigrants. Our Jessica Hart checked in with Soleil Ramirez.
At the heart of every kitchen is its chef.
It's like a tribute to the entire culture.
Soleil Ramirez crafted her menu with love.
My menu is inspired in memories, in people from my family, friends, trips, and every single little town in my country.
In 2023, she opened Krusky.
It's not like the regular Venezuelan restaurant. You can just go and just enjoy arepas or empanadas or tequeños.
Her twist on Venezuelan food caught the attention of the Food Network.
Actually, I didn't apply for anything. They contacted me.
She was one of 4 chefs featured on Tuesday night's episode of Chopped.
It was very refreshing. Give me like that kind of kick of you are doing something good, just keep pushing.
The show pushed her to bring a year-old idea to the table.
All the Latin chefs in towns are going to come to Krusky in partnership with me to create these amazing 3-course dinners to raise funds for different organizations.
She says the money raised will benefit immigrants to help with mental health and legal assistance, a struggle she understands.
I'm not from here, and I was in process for asylum for almost 9 years. I got my asylum approved 3 weeks ago. So I know what it is waking up every single day, not knowing what is going to happen with you.
It's why she's rolling out love the best way a chef knows how.
The most incredible thing about food is food doesn't have language, food doesn't have barriers. Everybody understands food. So for me, food had always been the way I can communicate and I can help my community. We are nothing without immigrants.
Good stuff there, and I love that she's doing her best to help the immigrant community as well.
For sure, definitely at the Chowder restaurant too. And love that she was on the Food Network. Very cool.
Really
All right, 8:29, let's get over to Ben. Happy Monday. I love Mondays that are gorgeous like this. We can get outside, pretend it's summer.
And we want to remind everybody it's almost 8:30, not 7:30. So the sun rose quite a bit later this morning than what it did last week, thanks to the arrival of daylight saving time. Here's your forecast for today. We're going to see a lot of the filtered sunshine as cirrus clouds kind of obscure the sunlight from time to time. But you can see temperatures this afternoon well into the 60s, forecasting a record of 67 degrees today. It will be briefly cooler as we head into your Tuesday, with temperatures closer to average, back in the lower 40s, but a sharp drop off from today, and then warming back into the 60s later this week, followed by our late week spring storm. Some rain turning to some slushy snow as we head into the weekend, followed by even colder temperatures. A lot happening in your 7-day. Cece?
Things are looking pretty good right now. Not seeing too many disturbances. The only thing I'm tracking right now is a crash on 169 near Plymouth. That's where you're seeing right here that red, that stop and go. It's slowing some things down. I'll show you a live picture of that when I see you again.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Alicia Lewis alongside Jason Hackett on what is going to be another gorgeous day. So get out if you can.
Yes, enjoy it, soak it in, soak in the sun, soak in the near 70-degree temperatures, Ben.
It's going to be pretty ridiculous. We hit our first 60-degree day of the season yesterday, and some parts of the state could very well be at their first 70 of the year today. Yes, indeed, it's going to feel rather nice. Let's take a look at a time-lapse view from earlier this morning. Gorgeous sunrise with those cirrus clouds moving overhead. You can see there it is. By the way, we're about, a week away from the official start of spring. That's when the sun will be rising due east. So if you want to know exactly which direction was due east, wake up on the spring equinox and look towards the eastern horizon. Record highs possible today, then turning sharply cooler heading into your Tuesday. There's a big cold front that's going to move through in the hours after dark tonight. That'll give us some blustery wind and also those cooler temperatures for at least one day tomorrow. Then our eyes turn towards the end of the week, a late week spring storm that not only will give us our first rumbles of thunder of the season, at least a chance for that, but also some accumulating snow on the colder side of that system on Saturday. More to come on that system in the days ahead. Temperatures right now range from the mid-30s around St. Cloud to the low 40s around the Twin Cities. So it's pretty warm, all things considered. These are forecast highs today. Under that veil of cirrus clouds, temperatures will skyrocket back into the mid to upper 60s to near 70 degrees. There's the cloudiness that we're seeing with our infrared satellites. Nothing coming out of these clouds. We're not forecasting any precip to fall. And with the dry weather, gusty wind, and warm temperatures in the forecast, there's an elevated risk for wildfires over central and western Minnesota. Red flag warning goes into effect for areas west of St. Cloud at 11 a.m. Watch for critical fire conditions through the end of the day. Cece?
Good morning, heading to the West Metro. Good morning if you're waking up near Plymouth. There was a crash maybe 10 minutes ago, 169 southbound. This is between 36th Avenue North and then Medicine Lake Road. It looks like this vehicle kind of crashed into this guardrail here as they were trying to get onto that ramp. You can still take this ramp. However, if you're not taking the ramp and just going on 169 heading toward 55 at 394, you may want to add 10-12 minutes to your commute as things are going pretty slowly in that area. I'll keep my eye on that crash. Otherwise, things starting to lighten up traffic flow wise, but we're still seeing some slowing on 62 and parts of 494 this morning.
Cece, thank you. Right now, across the state, flags are half-staff honoring former St. Paul police officer Felicia Riley.
Family, friends, city, and state leaders will come together for a final goodbye in just about 3 hours. The family says Officer Riley died on March 1st from symptoms related to a traumatic brain injury she suffered on the job 15 years ago. Michelle Beck was at Gustavus Adolphus Lutheran Church, where police spoke early this morning.
St. Paul police tell me they are expecting up to 400 officers from their department alone here at Gustavus Adolphus Church. And that's why they moved from a smaller venue initially to this church to support the incredible show of people. These words from St. Paul police specifically caught our attention. They say before her passing, Officer Riley told her family she was worried she had been forgotten. Well, starting at 11 a.m., her funeral will show that's anything but the case. Her family first told us the retired officer died 15 years after responding to a domestic dispute, which in turn left her suffering from a traumatic brain injury. And this morning, the police chief said the department's learned of a clause in the U.S. Constitution that, since her death, prevents them from amending and upgrading the charges against her attacker. Colleagues at SPPD marvel at Officer Riley's dedication for the job she started at 39 years old after putting her career on hold.
It wasn't really a career that females necessarily thought of to go into. So here you have this tough, brave mom of 5 that's like, I want to make a difference and I'm going to go out in the community and I'm going to do that. And I know that I put my life on the line every day, but I want to do this.
And you just heard there, Officer Riley was a mother of 5 and she ended up adopting 3 more children. And we're told by SPPD that her entire family is going to be present here at the church today and you'll be hearing from some of them. Back to you.
And there will be road closures in St. Paul for the procession this morning. So let's get over to Cece with a look at how things are going to be over there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a busy time today. Shortly before and after the procession, we know that major intersections that have a traffic light will be closed. So we're talking Willick Parkway, Edgerton Street, Jackson Street, Rice Street, Dale Street, and both off ramps at 35E and Larpenteur. And there's also going to be some road work happening on Snelling. I'll talk about that when I see you next. But because of all that happening, I think it'd be best to maybe hop on 36, wherever you're headed from, maybe 94 if you're trying to get to 35W, 280, try to get on a different part of Snelling or even head over to 35E. I think those would be good workarounds to avoid that part of town this afternoon.
All right, Cece, thanks you for that heads up. We appreciate it. Today is the last day for people in Roseville and Shoreview to vote early in person in a District 40B special election that will have a huge impact on future legislation at the state capitol. Audrey Russo breaks down what's at stake from the Capitol.
Back in November, the voters of District 40B couldn't have imagined just how important this race was going to be. When the polls close at 8 p.m. tomorrow, it'll bring some closure to this months-long power struggle to determine who controls the House. This race is between DFL candidate David Gottfried and Republican Paul Wilkstrom. There's early voting today at the Ramsey County Plato building. Now, back in November, a judge ruled the original DFL candidate, Curtis Johnson, couldn't take his seat because he didn't live in the district. The open seat gave the GOP a one-seat majority and sparked a DFL boycott of the legislative session. The state Supreme Court had to get involved before the two parties could reach a power-sharing agreement. Now, a win for the Democrats in this special election would tie things back up in the House. A win for Republicans would cement that slim majority, but that could be an uphill battle in this historically blue district. In November, Wilkstrom lost by 30 percentage points. This time around, both candidates tell us they've been knocking on doors, trying to introduce or reintroduce themselves and their biggest priorities.
You know, the balance of our government, we need some checks and balances in the government. We need to bring responsible spending back to the state.
And to me, this race is about taking care of your neighbors. And that's kind of the core ethos of my particular campaign is it all comes back to taking care of your neighbors.
The polls tomorrow open at 7 a.m. and they'll remain open through 8 p.m. Back to you.
All right, Audrey, thank you very much. We're tracking 3 developing stories at the state capitol this morning, starting with a rally for immigrant communities at 10 a.m. led by Communities Organizing Latin Power and Action, also known as COPAL. Then at 1:30, Attorney General Keith Ellison joined state lawmakers and other Minnesotans for a reproductive health rights rally. And 2 hours later, the House will take up a GOP bill to delay a paid family and medical leave law. It would provide workers up to 20 weeks a year of paid time off for emergencies. The delay could push back the law until 2027.
Starting today, American farmers will face new retaliatory tariffs on a lot of products that they send to China. This includes an extra 15% on chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton, and a 10% tariff on items like beef and soybeans. In addition, 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports into the United States are set to begin Wednesday. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says that prices may go up in the U.S., but says that President Trump assures any pain would be short-lived. In a live look from our nation's capital this morning, the clock is ticking in Washington for Congress to pass a funding bill by Friday night or risk a government shutdown. President Trump this morning is urging Republican lawmakers to vote in favor of House Speaker Mike Johnson's stopgap measure. The bill would keep the government funded through the end of September and includes an increase in defense spending and cuts to domestic spending programs. Johnson is hoping to hold a vote tomorrow in the House.
If you have a hockey player in the St. Paul Public School District, listen up here. Next year, the district's hockey teams will combine to create one SPPS team. And tonight there will be an informational meeting for players and parents. So far, we know the majority of players are from Highland High School, and games and practices will be held there. Tonight's meeting will be at the Highland Ice Arena at 6:30. Let's take a look at this tweet from the Wolves just overnight. 5 in a row with 5 W's there after defeating the Spurs at Target Center 141-124. Our sports director Reggie Wilson was on the court with Julius Randle for a post-game recap.
It was good. It was good. I mean, offense was amazing. Defense obviously could have been better, but we took care of business on home court, and that's what we're supposed to do.
2 assists shy of a double-double the last 2 games, a triple-double the last 2 games. You gave 3 boards shy. You got the 10 assists tonight.
Yeah.
How tough is it? You can't get there.
Nah, it's fine, man. It'll happen when it's supposed to. if it's supposed to, man. I'm just happy we getting the win, and it's really just about making the right play.
Julius, you've come back from injury, and you guys haven't lost since you came back. What has it been like for you just making sure you were locked in to come back and help this team?
Yeah, I mean, just through my injury process, I wanted to come back better than before. Basketball-wise, physically, just that time being able to sit out, watch the guys, see how I can help, what I can do better. It was valuable, so I'm happy. Yep.
So cool. The next game is on KARE 11 once again this Sunday at 6 against the Utah Jazz. But hey, yeah, those are familiar faces. We were there last night, had such a good time. We were partnered with the Hype Squad, trying to get the crowd hyped up, tossing out T-shirts, giving out pizzas.
Yes, it was so much fun. The energy in the building last night was just amazing. John, shout out to him, the Wolves host. He's the guy on the court.
Yes.
During the games, he's running the show. He was great to us, so kind. It was a good time.
You know
Shout
how
out to
much
the Wolves.
power you yield when you're holding a free T-shirt.
Yes.
Everyone's like, give it to me.
Everybody's your best friend in that moment. And
It was great. I
could have
felt
done,
powerful.
I could have done better tossing the shirts. I got a lot of criticism for the way I was tossing them. I should have put more arc.
So it wasn't a direct blow to the face.
Yes.
Also, so much, every time I was trying to find a kid, right, and like further back, and I would make eye contact with like
And
the
you're like, this is yours,
this is yours,
this is yours.
this is yours, and people in front
Here
and
comes an
beside,
adult,
yes,
just
every
right in front.
time, and I'm like, it goes to the child.
Do better.
If you're an adult and
Shame.
you're next to a kid, always just give them the free thing.
Yes, it's a T-shirt.
And it's like an XXL size
Right.
T-shirt anyway.
The kid will grow. They'll grow into it. They can
Yeah.
have it their whole lives.
There you go. They got that to look forward to when they turn 18. Yeah, speaking of power, you'd be like, hey, you over there, make some noise. No, you over there. And whoever makes the most noise gets the free T-shirt. How about that? Hey, we hit 60 degrees yesterday. It was the first 60-degree day of the season. Many more to come, and today is going to be one of those. I wanted to take a look at the average first time we see certain temperatures. So our average first 60-degree day in the past 30 years arrived on March 23rd. So we're about 2 weeks ahead of schedule with that one. Our average first 70 the first week of April. We have a shot at reaching that today. And for what it's worth, the earliest first 70-degree day, March the 3rd. You know when that happened? Last year. So on March 3rd, 2024, we hit 74 degrees. How about that? Parts of central and western Minnesota have an increased risk for rapidly spreading wildfires today. Red flag warning goes into effect for areas west of St. Cloud at 11 o'clock. Critical fire conditions out there today. We're talking gusty wind, low relative humidity, and yes, record high temperatures. Now, out ahead of this cold front, which is going to pass through this evening, the wind is pretty modest out of the southwest between about, say, 10 and 20 miles per hour. But watch as I put this into motion. Here comes that cold front. The wind will rapidly change out of the northwest soon after sundown, and we're going to see winds increase between, say, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts for a short time frame, but it will be noticeable. And behind that system, it does look like temperatures will take a bit of a dip. We're looking at highs today in the upper 60s. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to drop that by about 25 degrees. So 43 degrees for your high on Tuesday, which is a little closer to average. And notice how short-lived it is. Back in the 50s by Wednesday, and we make another run at 70 degrees as we head into Friday. So for today, record heat is in the forecast. We'll call it filtered sunshine, and then tonight temperatures are going to take quite a bit of a tumble. We'll likely start off tomorrow morning below freezing and then warm up into the lower 40s by the afternoon. Our eyes then turn towards the end of the week for our next spring storm. The potential is there for some thunder as we head into Friday afternoon and evening, followed by some rainy, snowy, sloppy conditions heading into your Saturday. More on that in the days to come. Cece?
Maple Grove seen another crash, 94 eastbound. This is between Weaver Lake Road and then 494. You see a couple vehicles here and a squad car off on this left shoulder, left lane area, slightly slowing things down as you continue on 94, make your way to 494 or 169. I'd add a few extra minutes if you'll be in this area soon. There are also a couple more crashes that popped up. I'll have a live look of that when I see you next. We'll be back.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Time now 8:48 on this wonderful Monday. Live look outside. Temperatures going up. Started at 39 degrees at the beginning of the show, up to 41, and we're going to hit near 70s today. Almost 70, not quite. Ben has a look at your forecast, full look at your forecast coming up here in a few minutes. This morning, a new update on the measles outbreak. There are now more than 200 cases across a dozen states. The majority are in western Texas and New Mexico. Health officials say the best way to prevent infections is by getting the MMR vaccine. The National Foundation for Infectious Diseases says about 1 in 5 unvaccinated people in the U.S. who gets measles will be hospitalized. 1 out of every 1,000 people with measles will develop brain swelling, which could lead to brain damage. And up to 3 out of 1,000 people with measles will die, even with the best care. So far, 2 people have died in this outbreak, both of them unvaccinated. This morning, we're kicking off our second full week of the KARE 11 Food Fight, and we're hoping you will join in on that fight, too. That's because hunger is a real problem here in Minnesota. A brand new report by Hunger Solutions shows last year, Minnesotans made nearly 9 million visits to food shelves.
That's 1.4 million more visits than the year before that. And this morning, our Michelle Beck introduces us to a Twin Cities man named Daniel, who says that the Salvation Army makes a real difference in his life.
To one of life's most essential questions.
You live to eat or you eat to be alive?
Daniel Garcia has an obvious answer.
Live for cooking, you know. I was born to be a cook, put it that way.
60 years ago, his grandmother gave him his first recipes.
Mexican potato pancake.
And the love of food
jalapenos on it.
Gave him a career. But at age 70, with a disability, Daniel relies on financial help from the Social Security Administration. He holds on.
Yeah, limes, you can do a lot of stuff.
To help from the Salvation Army.
I get some fresh fruit. See how shiny it is? I'm grateful for what they give me here. And sometimes they have a free-range eggs.
Across all their locations in Minnesota, the Salvation Army gave roughly 3 million meals last year. The nonprofit worries visits to food shelves are only increasing.
Yes. It's important because it helps, you know. Put food in your table.
With twice-a-week visits to the St. Paul Food Pantry, Daniel sees the need around him.
And whatever I cannot take it, I share.
He knows some people don't always live to eat. They must eat to live.
My mom says, when you eat, you have less problems to complain about.
In St. Paul, Michelle Beck, KARE 11 News.
Great story from Michelle, highlighting a need. And one thing with these stories, we've covered hunger here for years at KARE 11 with our food fight. And there is no face to hunger. You know, your neighbor could be hungry, even though it looks like they're doing okay in life. And you'd never guess how many folks actually use their local food banks.
A lot of people are too proud to ask for help or too embarrassed to reveal that they need help. But that need is out there, and that's why we're depending on you guys so much. So if you'd like to help, just scan the QR code on your screen or visit KARE11.com/Give11. There you can pick a team, either Team Reggie, Team Bell, or Team Julie, and learn how to donate. The KARE 11 Food Fight, which is a partnership with the Salvation Army and Cub Foods, runs through March 26. Keep those donations rolling in here.
All right. Ben, what team are you on?
Julie.
Oh, you are too?
Team Julie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We might be losing, but we're all winners. Team Bell's winning.
I can feel a late week pickup. We'll pick it up. Looking forward to that. Hey, the warmer temperatures have a lot of us thinking spring, so I wanted to start off with the Spring Leaf Index. This shows which parts of the country are seeing the leaves pop up on the trees for the first time. Now, this is not happening around here, obviously, but you can see a good chunk of the deep south seeing a lot of green on the leaves. You got to head as far south as looks like south of Kansas City before you see some leaves on the trees. That's going to change in a hurry, but we are in this unique time where we are in between the green up period and the last of the snow melting. So that really means dry brown grass all over the place, and that increases our risk for spreading wildfires, especially on days like today when we're forecasting record heat and breezy conditions. We've got critical fire conditions forecast for parts of central and western Minnesota, basically areas west of St. Cloud. That's where a red flag warning is in effect at 11 a.m. today through 8 p.m. tonight. So gusty wind and low relative humidity. We are seeing a thin veil of clouds moving overhead. So it's kind of one of those days where the sun is out, but the clouds are kind of obscuring the sunshine a little bit. And we are tracking a clipper system, which is going to work its way across the international border today. Associated with this clipper is a strong cold front, which is going to move through later this evening. So as soon as the cold front passes through, you're going to notice the wind shift from the northwest. Colder temperatures are going to move through, and it does look like some pretty gusty wind in the hours after that cold front. So this is our forecast wind gust map. For most of the day, the wind is pretty modest out of the southwest, between 10 and 20 miles per hour. But watch as we head into this evening. Here comes that cold front. Notice the wind shifts right from the northwest. Some of the numbers you can see here, you can easily see wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour for a couple hours after dark, and then the wind will calm some as we head into your day on Tuesday. But it will have a big impact on temperatures. Today, with that southwest wind, 67 degrees. So we're going with record high temperatures today to seasonal temperatures tomorrow for one day. And then notice temperatures continue to rise later this week. We should be back up near 70 as we head into your Friday. So for today, filtered sunshine. The record high today is 66 degrees, so we're forecasting 67, so pretty much on par with a record high today. Then tonight, noticeably cooler and blustery, especially this evening. Temperatures early tomorrow morning dropping into the mid to upper 20s, and you can see the forecast highs as we head into your Tuesday. Will be chilly, looking at lower 40s. But again, it just lasts for one day. We should stay mostly sunny the rest of the middle part of the week, and those temperatures will be warming up. Back in the 50s by Wednesday, 60s by Thursday, and again 70 is possible by Friday. I think the record high for Friday is 74 degrees, so some parts of the state will be close to that as well. Then our eyes turn to a developing storm system. It's another one of those strong spring low pressure systems moving into the upper Midwest later in the week. Look for some potential for thunder as we head into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Saturday is going to be an interesting day. We could see rain mixed with slushy snow, some accumulating snow, falling temperatures, windy weather. And you can see temperatures by Sunday will be pretty chilly, 33 for a high. Cece?
Hey there, take a look at this backup because of a crash near Shoreview. This is 694 eastbound between Rice Street and then County Road 18. If you're headed toward Little Canada 35E in this area over the next 10, 15 minutes or so, I'd add some extra time. The crash is clearing, but again, backup still lingering. I'll have a full Twin Cities Metro look when I see you next.
8:57 on your way out. Here's some news to go. Across Minnesota today, flags are flying at half-staff, honoring former St. Paul police officer Felicia Riley.
Officer Riley will receive full honors with a line-of-duty death funeral. Officer Riley gave 17 years of her life to the St. Paul Police Department. She died earlier this year, 15 years after she responded to an incident that left her suffering from a traumatic brain injury. From the 11 a.m. funeral today to the processionals to the service at the cemetery, you'll hear the playing of taps, a 21-gun salute, as well as words from her loved ones and St. Paul leaders. Something you won't see, but we're told is happening, is Governor Tim Walz meeting privately with Officer Riley's family. All right, Ben, over to you.
Let's take a look at your forecast for today. It looks pretty nice. A veil of high clouds will obscure our sunshine for today, and record highs are possible. The record high for today is 66, and we're forecasting 67. It'll be gusty behind a cold front that passes this evening that brings sharply cooler temperatures to the area on Tuesday, but we are going to warm up the rest of the week. And then our eyes turn towards the end of the week for a late week spring storm, which could bring some thunder, maybe a little bit of rain, and also some possible slushy snowfall on Saturday, followed by plummeting temperatures. So this is a very typical spring forecast where we go from record highs to average temps back up near record highs, rain, thunderstorms, snow, everything in between. It's basically a biblical forecast. It's easy.
All right. We're just going to sit on that for a minute.
Really considering that. Okay.
There are a few crashes out there, and if the crashes are clearing, there's backups. You see it on 694 near Shoreview, Little Canada, near Maple Grove on 94 eastbound, 494. If you're in those areas, just add a few extra minutes to your commutes. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet out there.
There you go. Jason's been busy. Literally, he's looking up on his phone during commercial breaks where to find the most affordable steak to grill.
Hy-Vee's
nice.
Steak.
Hy-Vee's got some good
And
stuff.
he's doing shrimp, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, get out there, grill, enjoy today because you saw his forecast for the end of the week.
Yeah.
Get outside. Right. That's a wrap. More on KARE 11 Plus and KARE11.com. We'll see you.
You want to come over for steak and shrimp?
Yeah.